Now into today's program, and I'd want to introduce our speaker. And really, it's a conversation, I guess, between us and the speaker today. It's much more informal. We thought we'd take it easier with the being a bank holiday. It's a real pleasure to have with us Ujjal Das, who has a BSc from Sylhet MC College, and came to London in 2009 to pursue his master's in tourism management. After going to exhibition at Queen Mary University of London in the first few weeks of reaching London, he was really moved by seeing one of the first stamps of Bangladesh at the exhibition. And that sort of sparked his interest and passion for interviewing Bengalis across the UK and continuing to collect 1971 ephemera and photography. Ujjal Das has worked on London 1971, and his collection has featured in a British Council exhibition which took place in Dhaka, Bangladesh, called London 1971. So I'm going to kick off with a few questions just to paint you a picture of Ujjal Das, because Sanjida and I have had really lovely long conversations with him, but just so you get to know him a little bit better. So do you want to unmute yourself, Ujjal, just to prepare? Thank you. Oh, you've muted yourself again. There you go.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. There we go. So welcome, and thank you for joining us all the way from Canada as well. So it's really lovely to have you. I'm going to start off with the first question. We know that you were, and are, a journalist. You were a journalist in Dhaka, Bangladesh. But can you give us a brief account of your interest and journey in collecting the London, UK 1971 stories over the last 10 to 12 years? Why were you interested in the UK story?
Thank you everyone, all the audience, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great opportunity for myself to participate in this very, it's a tremendous opportunity for the Tower Hamlet Council celebrating 50 years of Bangladesh. Before starting answering your questions, I would like to show my respect the founding father of the nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, and to respect all the freedom fighters and the people supported the independence of Bangladesh in 1971. To my respect. And actually, as Halima said, how I am myself interested for collecting the 1971 story. As I do believe all you are joining with us. We know in 1971, especially UK, London played a significant vital role to build up the awareness for independence Bangladesh. So first time I have traveled UK in 2004 as a journalist from Daily Pratham Alo via British Council to participate in a journalist conference in London. So I'm from Sylhet. I'm born in Habiganj, so one district of Sylhet. So the majority people in London, British Bangladeshi, mostly from one particular district in Sylhet. So I have lots of friends, families over there. So 2004 and 2008, I came for another London Paralympic thing for emerging artists. We have joined. That time I have traveled few, Birmingham, Manchester, London, Portsmouth, Newcastle, even though everywhere, and obviously from the restaurant. I gone there taking delicious photos of your curry industry. So I'm getting few stories. There's one of my uncle that was in Portsmouth, I do believe, that asking that we do the polish the boats to collecting money to give it to the fund of Bangladesh Fund. So it's knocking me because I have lost few of my relatives. My aunt is in 71 from the one brush fire in 71. I know my mom, my dad, they were in Borishal. So they lived in, the refugee camp in India. So I have little bit, the historic things at the age of my, the grade 12, 10, I'm little bit feeling. So when I arrived in London, I'm getting some story. It didn't spark me a lot. 2009, in East London, I'm going through the Whitechapel area. So I don't have work that time, class not been started. So I seen something going on Tower Hamlet, history or local history something, a poster. I gone in the exhibition, and one area in glass box, I seen that few, stamps. I have already been wear T-shirt in my country, but I don't know even who produced this. I think the Bangladesh produced. I don't have any clear idea. I find the name Biman Mullik, the designer of the stamp. So it's because as a journalist, I love to write feature stories, untold stories. So back home, Google his name Biman Mullik. I find the BT internet email address. I send him an email, the Mr. Mullik, I'm working for that newspaper. So I'm too much interested to know about you. If you are available, and this email address shows in around 7 years back. So it's really a miracle. Within 6 or 7 days at night, I've got a mail. The first stamp designer, which is produced in UK by the help of British, one of MP as well. So he's emerged that someone from Bangladeshi young guy after 43 years knocking him to know the story. I met him, produced a story, and the journey began actually. So Biman Mullik introduced me a few other people, and every day, my lifestyle was to study. Rest of the part actually gone through everything, to meeting people, phone calls, going Birmingham, Manchester, different places. So up to 2016, I think so. It's an ocean of information.
No, I can tell. I can tell. Thank you. No, so we're gonna set the scene a little bit more now, and you've already touched on this, but tell us again, why is it so important to collect these stories and images for you? It's really interesting because the rest of the program has been people based here in London, or with a British perspective, and you're coming from Sylhet, and then you're settled in Canada, and you're interested in the UK and London. That's what's interesting here.
I'm answering that one. Actually, my interest for the London, majority of our people, we know the story. For in our country, our freedom fighters fought for the independence of Bangladesh. They devoted their lives. Our women, they devoted their lives, their honor. But in 1971, in the different countries, the foreign countries, Bengali and the non-Bengali people as well, they raised the voice for the international community to getting the attention for Bangladesh, independence Bangladesh. So UK, in that time after India, the majority people lives in London, thousands of people. And our country, when we are seeing the videos and the history, we honestly didn't find lot much about the involvement of the British, Bangladeshi or Australian people on other parts. So it's my sense that there is few vital things happen in London. Bangladesh Mission is formed in London, first stamps in London, and so many things. People come out on the street. If you see the videos, you see the people all around the UK. Where is the Bengali people, non-Bengali people? They, raise the voice. People get in the attention. So, in our liberation independence, it should be acknowledged the contribution of British Bangladeshi people in 1971, and that did a lot for their country. There is no race, no religion, only one thing. They're losing their identity, they're losing their address, they're losing their everything. So people come out. I think in my as a new generation guy, or I think that it is my duty or someone's duty to show up, to present the history which has been done in 1971 and should be acknowledged by the states of government in Bangladesh.
Sorry, I just said thank you. Thank you for that. Really well put, actually. I'm just going to move on to the final question before we actually start the presentation, which is, as we advertise, a very visual exploration of 1971, and you're all in for a treat. Ujjal Bhai has put together quite a beautiful collection of images from his collection. Just one last question. During our meetings between sort of Sanjida, me and yourself, we've spoken a lot about the rights of images, their usage, crediting photographers, journalists and individuals. Why do you feel this is important, and how do you practice this?
Be honest with you, when I start my journey, so day by day, I'm getting the attention from the people they involved that time. So it's my great pleasure to, you know, one of the British photographer is one of the, you know, secretary of, Birmingham Action Group as well, Mr. Roger Guyen. So Roger Guyen supported me all his photographs with copyrights. And I would like to thank one group of ethnic minorities, a research group, which is led by Renu Lutfa and Farooq Ahmed. They produced a book of Yusuf Chaudhry. So as a journalist, I have written few articles of, it's around 10 to 15 articles on the involvement of UK people, British Bangladeshi non-Bengali people. So my strength is the people who are involved in 1917 in UK, as well few people left UK, they are living in Bangladesh now. There's some people, the president of Student Action Committee and the Bangladesh Mission people, and the Bangladesh Mission, who is the Bangladesh Fund accounting section, who is handled. So I'm getting some photographs from that families as well. And I read the Yusuf Chaudhry book. We find that few photos are he already been used from other photographers like Roger Guyen, and few photos come up from different sources. So always in my collection, always I try to focus the, some photos we didn't even know about the photographer. I put the name, the courtesy about the family, like John Omot. I get some photos from that time director the editor Anis Ahmed and Wali Ashraf. So I put Wali Ashraf on. One photographs I got from Badrun Nessa Pasha from Birmingham. So someone goes from it's a recently passed one, the beautiful lady Kulsuma Ullah. So I have got something from Kulsuma Ullah. I credit goes to Kulsuma Ullah. And I would like to thank few of my friends. It's a personal initiative. But I'm happy to mention few names that sometimes, the Almi Foundation, few the photography library in Britain, they're selling the product. So if I love some few photos, I'm myself unable to buy those it's too much money involved with. I'm offering few of my friends. Could you please, I'll send you the link. Could you please buy these photos for me? So I'd like to thanks to 2, 3, 4 people. They donated few, paid for the photos to reach my collections. One is Pushpita Gupta from London, Hanout, and another one is Shushanto Das Gupta, another one is Arif Chaudhry, another one is Shah Foyez, and Mr. Shah Russell. Few my names, they supported me on that time. I do my sincere thanks. And all of them try to mention the photos been collected from where the real source. And Roger Guyen, he's the living legend. So his photos, he can, identify the dates and everything. We have a good relation. Last 8 years, and the Yusuf Chaudhry photos mostly, which is no contradiction. I'm confirmed that is Yusuf Chaudhry. So I have a good relation, his family as well. And other photos, some photos are collecting from, one of the great researcher in Abdul Motin. There is a steering committee, 5 people in 1971. Is a living legend, Dr. Kabir Chaudhry. So I'm getting from different sources. But in my sense, if it should be acknowledged, where I'm getting these photographs actually. If I didn't know about it, but never ever fabricated anything and tell the real story.
No, that's really wonderful to hear. I think it's something that I guess we have in common. Sanjida and I work in the archive, and yourself from the journalistic profession, and it's sometimes awkward to see actually that even in archives and even in journalistic profession, crediting isn't something that's done all the time ethically, but it's something that we noted definitely with you. Someone's asking where we could get a copy of this book. It's very hard. I've got a copy on my shelf which I'm donating to the library, which I have donated to the library. I've just borrowed it again. So you can see a reference copy at Hamlets Local History Library and Archives. And otherwise, keep your eyes peeled on eBay. If you find another copy, let us know. And maybe we buy 2 reference copies. But yeah, they're quite hard to come by. I have also gotten in touch with the publisher directly, and they don't have any copies. There's not been any recent prints. So we're gonna move on to the visuals now, guys. We've piqued your interest, I hope. And I'm gonna share my screen, and we'll just go through some of the materials that Ujjal has been talking about. He's gonna explain the
Is this a woman talking?
Sorry, who was that?
I'm not sure. Sorry, could people just make sure they're muted?
Oh yeah, I just muted someone actually. There we go. So I'm just going to share screen now, and then this will give Ujjal a chance to go through the materials, and then in the end we're going to have a chat about what he's been up to these days after 10 to 12 years of collecting, and we're going to show a very short film, like a 2-minute film. So bear with me as I share screen. Sorry, hang on one sec. Here we go. There we go. So I'm just start from this one. Can you tell us what's happening in this image and why you chose to share it with us today?
Okay. Thank you all of you for joining with us. Today is the date of 3rd of April 2021. I'd like to thank the 50 years of that photo. The women involvement in 1971. This photo is taken 3rd of April 1971. The Women Association been formed in London. Another women association been formed in Birmingham as well. One of the brilliant lady, Butrunnesa Pasha's house, the Midlands part. But this one procession happened in London, and around 200 women came out on the street to raise the voice, independence of Bangladesh. They gone to the memorandum to 10 Downing Street, British Parliament, British Prime Minister House, as well American Embassy, and rest of the 9 months that did tremendous job to build up awareness in the favor of independence Bangladesh. They met the British MPs. They arranged seminars, symposiums. They produced some badges, leaflets, and they sent it to the Mujibnagar government as well. Getting the attention, what a sort of help they are seeking from the UK part. And women, there are few organizations in 71 involved. One of the very vital role played organization, Women Association, and the lady holding the mic is Lulu Bilkis Banu. Because if I tell a few names, it will be very hard to. But I'd like to salute the women support in 71. It's a big part. It's not been told a lot. Can you move on?
Next one.
Yeah, same. These photos I'm getting from Kulsuma Ullah. The lady passed away, and this photo in the same day, 3rd of April. 3rd of April in London. And I would like to mention one thing that a few people even don't know about the. I'm mentioning the Kulsuma Ullah. Why? She's the lady in 29th of July. The first stamps in produce, he got the highest bid, £2,230 to get to the arranging fund for the Bangladesh fund. And the British media, television media, newspaper focused the women involvement on the street. They're the maximum, they're wearing saris. They gone the procession with the very tiny babies that don't even think about. They came out on the street, and when the British media seeing a few ladies wearing saris, the tradition, they're asking for where's come from and why are they on the street. So all the ladies in 71, they played a significant role, not only in all through the different cities in UK. So their participation, their contribution, I believe, should be acknowledged to show the history of Bangladeshi liberation movement in UK.
Thank you. I love these two images. Even when Sinjida and I were looking through sort of trying to research images, we found it hard to find images of women in the first place. And sometimes some of the images focused a lot on non-Bengali women as well. So it's really wonderful to be able to see these. Thank you. Next image.
Yep. One thing for all of the audience that I'll talk about it. Before that, it's very hard to the showcase everything within 30 or 40 minutes. Actually, the problem is there is in my collection there is more than that photos of women involvement. So when Sanjit asking me to arrange the PowerPoint presentation or something, it's very puzzled myself. So which photo I should put on it? So everywhere I put only the significant things, few dates from chronologically. I started from April and other month, May, June, July, few things happen in London. I put a few things. This one is 4th of June 1971. I have got this, I don't know even the photographer's name, but I have got the copyright from the Almi Foundation. There's photos for the using these photos. And the lady holding the the mic is Nurunnesa Chaudhuri. Along with, you see the photos, how powerful it is. Everyone show, you see their faces and the pushchair with the kids. So I think so. My plan was to produce a book when I left UK, to produce a book of London 1971. But when I traveled whole through Bangladesh, I find that how powerful that photography is. In Birmingham, in London exhibition in Sylhet, few people, they find their granddad and uncles from the photo. So it's it's emerging how you see the ladies in the street of UK is around 50 years back. So their contribution should be acknowledged in our history for Bangladesh independence history.
Next slide.
Yeah. I am. This is the photographs of 26th of March is around 11 o'clock, and it's a historic photos because the massacre started in 25th of March either by the Pakistani soldiers, Operation Searchlight. The world knows about it. This one in 26th of March, in front of 10 Downing Street, very close to the Whitehall. You see laying down two persons. You see there two persons. It's my great pleasure to announce their name. One is the Justice Samsuddin Chaudhuri Manik and Afruz Afghan Chaudhuri. Late is an advocate in Hobbycon, and Justice Manik was one of the key member of Bangladesh Action Committee in 1971. When they heard as Justice Manik told me, it's not only me, other people as well. For I met Manik several times. As he said, when we heard the news about the massacres happened, I planned myself with my friend Afruz Afghan. We need to do a hunger strike to get the attention from British media and MPs. So what are you gonna do? We plan to do a hunger strike in front of 10 Downing Street. They gone there, and their friends from other fellow members from Bangladesh Student Action Committees, they gathered as well. It's 26th of March. Every day people are growing people from different parts, students, teachers, Bengali, non-Bengali people, come and raising voice. They're protesting against the recognized Bangladesh. So 28th of March, there's a significant thing. 28th of March, one of the friends of Bangladesh I told about party and Peter Shaw came out, offered them milk to break the hunger strike, and all the medias published their stories, why they're doing the hunger strike. It will affect to building awareness of what genocide happening in East Pakistan, honestly. And my sincere thanks to those people who are supported that demonstration. And it's my great opportunity to meet those people, the person that have significant role in 1971, Mr. Samson Chaudhuri Manik and Afroz Afghan Chaudhuri, and along with other friends. Thank you. Yes.
What do we have here?
That is, you showed the picture of newspaper cutting, front page of one of the renowned newspaper and in Bengali newspaper in foreign lands is Jonomot. He's been started their journey 21st of February 1969. Before the independence, they started their journey and always supporting the raising awareness for the Bangladesh independence. There is 3 photographs in there, 3 newspaper cutting. I would like to show my respect because there is no place to put so much things. There are different newspaper, Bangladesh Parikrama, and along with other newspaper. I put only Jonomot to show up few things. One is this one, the first picture of Jonomot. This one is produced 14th of March 1971. Jonomot realized that there is massacre is coming on. People are affected in Bangladesh. They put it's called Blooded Bangladesh. Next one is our father of the nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. This one produced and their publication is April 18th. You know, the 17th April Mujibnagar government, 18th April they put their in the cover page. And the next one is slide come up with this issue is November. So I would like to mention one thing. The Jonomot, along with other newspapers, especially Jonomot played a significant and vital role in 1971. People are waiting what's coming up, and it's my pleasure because there another editor, Anis Ahmed, and the ruling government UK Awami League president, Mr. Sultan Sharif, was in Bangladesh that time. He's sending the stories. So people are waiting for the stories, how they're getting the information from Bangladesh. You know, that time they don't even some phone calls or mobile, but people waiting for Jonomot. We have a mass collection. I would like to thanks to Jonomot Authority for providing me those historic things. And I believe if someone read all through from the March 1971 to the Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman arrived in 8 January 1972. If someone read all the papers from Jonomot, they will find a clear idea what happening over there. Because you can right now, anyone can tell anything. But if you see the Jonomot, that time I feel that the authentic story came out. So all the newspaper, they played a very good role in 1971.
Next slide.
Yes. Yes. In 1971 is cricket. Bangladesh now is Test cricket. Got the. I would like to my gratitude to the women cricket team. They got the Test status within the last 2 days. So that is the legacy actually. In 1971, England versus Pakistan. You showed. It's written there. Test match. England versus Pakistan. So in the mid of 1971, May, June, so Pakistan team arrived in London. Bengali people, it's mostly this campaign was patronized by or supported by Bangladesh Student Action Committee. Everywhere, Pakistan team arrival, they gone to the Heathrow airport, they're making noise, broken, so many things that did. And every, the match, test match, one-day series, test, anything, the people gathered, come out, they recognize Bangladesh, they're doing, and the British media, everywhere they're focusing the story that they're doing genocide in Bangladesh, now are playing in, United Kingdom versus England team. So you can find some videos over there, how people are come out, and the London people mostly, some matches in Edgbaston, Birmingham. But the people from London, they gathered in now in Altabali Park. They gathered in here and a few bars, they gone to making the protest and raising the voice. It will affect a lot in as per my knowledge. The England versus Pakistan match, Pakistan team was very much, they didn't feel comfortable anything, and there is a in the favor of Pakistan team, there is a organization offered a dinner or something. All the students gone there. The police came out. Few people are arrested on that time, and it's an incredible thing in 71 to they raised the voice for protesting England and Pakistan series. You'll find another clip. I can tell a little bit different thing for next slide.
Sorry, it's a bit stuck. Give me 1 sec.
No problem.
There we go.
Yes, it's a historic photos taken by the renowned photographer Roger Guyen. You see the cricket Yahya style. Stop genocide, recognize Bangladesh. Cricket Yahya style. This cartoon is produced by Roger Guyen, and this one they are on the way to Esbaston. The lady wearing the bag and kids, she is Bodrunnesa Pasha. I have this copyright of this photograph. This photograph is taken by Roger Guyen, and that day Bodrunnesa Pasha and the Midlands Women, Women Association, along with the action group, other people, everyone gathered in Esbaston, and we have some video footage as well. How dear they are in front of the testmaker series. They come out, they shout to them. They recognize Bangladesh, that's it. And it will all in the medias, they publish the stories, both parts. They are telling about the cricket things, and Bangladeshi people who are seeking independence of Bangladesh and recognition, they are telling their story. The massacre and the biggest genocide is happening, that one should be stopped. So it's a historic photo that all from Birmingham and taken by Roger Guyen.
Next slide.
Yes. Oh, yeah. You are getting the sketch. I think so. You'll find some idea, something happening, someone drawing, planning something. This one happening in the month of April, May, June. The artist is Biman Mollik, one of the designer. He produced first 8 stamps for Bangladesh in 1971, and he's starting in different one of the university. When he gets some times at train. In this one, his drawing is done is train, putting his diary. And 26th of July, Harcourt Hall, House of Commons in British Parliament, first time showed 8 stamps of Bangladesh produced by Biman Mollik, and the great help from the British Postmaster General, one of the biggest friends of Bangladesh, John Stonehouse MP. And another thing I would like to mention, the relation between the Stonehouse and Biman Mollik. In '69, British government published a post stamps on Mahatma Gandhi, first time ever another personality from out of Britain. So there was a relation between Biman Mollik and John Stonehouse. John Stonehouse visited in April Mujibnagar government. That time he met our the Tajuddin Ahmed along with other government official Bangladesh. John Stonehouse proposed to the Mujibnagar government that the massive procession protest going on, people are on the street in UK. So if you produce the stamps, especially for Bangladesh, it will connect some recognition from the medias, people collecting, and it's another identity for independence Bangladesh. So Mujibnagar government gave the permission to Johnston House full authority to produce the stamps. Back to England, Johnston House one day called Biman Mollik and offering him to producing some stamps based on the history, and they have a meeting with, you know, the one of the spokespersons of Bangladesh that time in Mujibnagar government is Justice Abu Said Choudhury. The three persons, they decided in the month of April they are producing stamps when Johnston was back from Kolkata. You can go to the next slide. Yes, this is the first issue of stamps from government of Bangladesh. This is the first day cover. You will see there is, you know, 8 stamp in here. The one is there is 10 paisa is that, you know, that time we didn't find taka honestly our currency. That's when he made it in rupee. Is 8 stamps in there, and 26th of July, as I mentioned before, House of Commons, they showed along with Justice Abu Said Choudhury, Stone House, and Biman Mollik. That's the historic things for getting recognition from the overall global community about Bangladesh. And Pakistan, 29th of July, it already been, you know, dispatched from different cities, Australia, London, Kolkata as well. And 29th of July, again, there is a program, is the House of Commons. They, you know, that they showed a bidding to collecting money for Bangladesh Fund. And my sincere respect, those are involved in producing Mr. Biman Mollik. It's my great pleasure to find him, meet him, know his story, and as I mentioned in 2009, I seen in you know, East London, Queen Mary University. I met the people who produced the you know, the first stamp. It's my pleasure. And 2000 for all of our kind information, 2012. I have made an article, one cover story was published in Daily Prathaman Bangladesh cover story, and government knocked him as a friend of Bangladesh. He's been acknowledged by the government 2012. It's my great pleasure. My sincere thanks to Biman Mollik and his family. We can move on. Wow, wow, wow. I do believe this story, this picture, because I have nothing to do actually, honestly. What I did, I'm going to the people, all the brave people, there's the part of the history. I'm just collecting their oral history, video interviews, their history documentation, nothing more. You see the people on the street, you see the people long, and the historic, you know, big band. So these photos reflect the, you know, the expatriate Bangladeshi communities, non-Bengali and non-Bengali people, how they came out on the street. You see the strength of the photos. You know, I'm speechless. How? We don't know even. In our country, in Bangladesh, historically sad. How the people, you know, that a big line. If you see, I put 2-3 photos in here, mostly from Roger Guyen, and you can find how dear the people. And one thing I should mention, acknowledge that the people in British Bangladeshi people in UK, Britain, mostly, we have our own legacy industry, is curry industry. Chicken tikka masala. It's a big industry, big industry. That day, most of the people from this one day, all the restaurants around in different cities in UK, they closed their restaurant, buses. However, they come with all the family members, peoples gathered in Trafalgar Square, 1st August 1971. There was a big procession. It's been organized by Action Bangladesh. Action Bangladesh was mainly backup and the main key player of one couple, Paul Connet and Alan Connet, Marietta Prokope, along with the Association of Bangladesh Student Action Committees, few other people, C.S. Kobir, late C.S. Kobir, late, you know, one of the legendary of personality of our history, Sir Fazle Hasan Abed, Justice Samsudin Chaudhary Manik, Sultan Sharif, Tony Hawk in Birmingham, Mohiuddin Chaudhary in London, Abu Said, so many people. I forgot my salute, sincere respect to all of them. They support from various sources in 71. Can you move on that other photos? Yeah, it's same as this one taken by Rosar Gwen as well. You see the crowd and the British police, they are supporting a lot in the street. We can move on other slide. See the gathering in Trafalgar Square, 1st of August 1971. People from different parts, different cities, they gathered. One thing is happening there, only one slogan: recognize Bangladesh. Only thing, recognize Bangladesh, nothing. They're wanting the independence of Bangladesh, recognition for Bangladesh. And one thing I should mention, that day, the people, as I mentioned, different parts, and the steering committee member, for your kind information, is around more than 90, action committee being formed in different cities, different parts. But there is a committee being organizing committee, steering committee, which happened in Birmingham, Coventry, 24th of April. There, they will, find out the leading's perspective and anything to make out the workout, how the processions, other things going on. So 1st of August 1971, some media says that there were 30,000 of people. Some people says 20,000 of people. One of the legendary, the writer Sunil Gangopadhyay in Bangladesh, in India, he wrote, in his one of the books, he wrote in the history of that day. And one thing I should mention, that day, one of the second secretary of Pakistan High Commission in London, the person named Mohiuddin Ahmed, on that stage, he announced, I am give up all my relation with the Pakistani government. I left my positions and I obey, and I devoted my life and my time with the, the Bangladesh Liberation Movement in London. It was a massive thing. He was the first diplomat widely told, bravely told, that I am give up my relation with the Pakistani government. One thing I should mention, he was already been connected with the spokesperson and the key role played, Justice Abu Said Chaudhary. In the month of April, he already informed Abu Said Chaudhary, Mr. Mohiuddin, that I am ready to come up. I want to come on street. He is ready for Bangladesh. Justice Abu Said told him that time, cool, I'll let you know. That is the day, 1st of August. He, in the crowd, big crowd, he told that I'm give up Pakistan. It's a big slap for the Pakistani government. And this message taken from the different, the media, they published it widely. And after then, few others like, Lutful Matins and Abdul Rauf, some others, other people already joined with the team, and Bangladesh mission was started 27th of August. I'll talk on that. We can move on. Oh, it's come up. It's a historic photos. The relation between other one. That one is 1st of August. You see there is two photos. This one, both photos is taken 27th of August 1971. Bangladesh didn't get the recognition from British government yet. But Bangladesh High Commission opened 27th of August 1971, 24, Pembridge Garden. Now you know the Bangladesh Center is called now is Bangladesh Center. it was a great thing in, the 1st of August in Abu Said Chowdhury's speech. That time he declared, we are planning to start Bangladesh mission in London. That was the second Bangladesh mission after India. After Kolkata, this is the second one. So the photos in the left side, the front person is who played a significant, biggest, vital role. Mr. Abu Said Chowdhury, later was the president of Bangladesh, 12th January 1972, along with all other officials of, Bangladesh mission. You will find, as I told, the person Mohiuddin Ahmed in there, Habibur Rahman is there, in the and you'll one of the smiling face at the far behind, Mr. Sultan Sharif. He's the running, president of UK Awami League. He's living in London. Along with others, Mohiuddin Ahmed, Abdur Rauf is this one is 27. And one journalist named, he stopped genocide, is written 30th of March, if I am not wrong. Anthony Mascarenhas, he was present in there as well, along with other British authorities. And Pakistani government, they sent so much correspondence with the Foreign Office of Britain, Foreign Office, why you guys are giving them the opportunity to open the mission in here without getting the recognition from the British government. But I would like to sincere thanks to British government, all the MPs, and those people who have supported this great initiative to establish Bangladesh mission in London, 27th of August 1971. And the right-hand photos, the same day, they hosting the flags in front of the building, Bangladesh flag. It was a historic day for Bangladesh mission in 1971. Is held in London, 24 Pembridge Garden.
Next slide.
Yes. I think I'm taking so much time, or I don't know. You know.
No, you're okay. You have
time limit is okay.
Four more slides, and we have about 10 minutes.
Okay. My sincere thanks I need to give few organizations, as I mentioned: Bangladesh Action Committee, Student Action Committee, medical associations, and there is it's called Gono Sanskriti Porishad, cultural wing, been established in London 1971. That the person, you see the person, he doing the lead role. He's basically accountant. He living in London, Mr. M.A. Rauf. He was involved with as I told, the test cricket match. He was in Edgbaston, gone from East London, and he did the key role in that, played in called Ostro Hate Tule Now. In English form, if I translate it, grab the arms to fight for your country, something like this. And this, there is a festival happen in London, 18th and 19th September. Holborn area, Lion Conway Hall, 2 days long festival. Justice Abu Said Chowdhury was present. One of the legendary, filmmaker Johir Raihan was there. Peter Shore MP was there. So that in that day, the capacity of that building is around 500. More than that, is double people was gathered there. And this dance drama is written by M.A. Samad. He is now based in Bangladesh. My opportunity to meet him, and it's my great pleasure to meet the M.A. Rauf. And the lady, if I'm not wrong, he is Monju, and the culture wing being established in her house in 1971. If you see the next slide, you can see how people gathered on that show. Look, all the people, and the organizer of the cultural wing, they planned that we'll ask people for £1 for the donating money, £1, mind it. And that show, within 2 days, they they managed to collect more than 2,000 pounds for the Bangladesh Fund. And that played, the cultural wing, all the peoples, they travel different cities, Manchester, Birmingham, different part, and they produce dance drama, so many things that come out. It's just a big part for, the UK Bangladesh liberation history, that they played all the, cultural workers, writers, they played a very, very tremendous role in 71. This one should be acknowledged. We didn't know even how, not only, we know, we do respect our freedom fighter fought for Bangladesh. They played for Bangladesh as well with their production. Though it was been published in different medias, that how the people come up with the artistic thing in the favor of independence of Bangladesh. I salute Mr. I don't know, Emerov might be watching this program or not. They, because of their contribution, it's myself, very tiny person. I'm just telling your story, nothing else from my side. I do my respect for all of them. Thank you. Next time. Oh, 1971 is the, I don't need to tell about the person in left side poster, the founding father of Bangladesh, Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. He has a incredible communication with the people of Bangladeshi people in UK. Before the independence, he traveled 5 times. And we know the 8th of January 1972, Sheikh Mujib arrived in London 6:30 in the morning, Heathrow Airport. So in 9 months, if you see the photos, I have hundreds of photos, different movement, protest, procession. He is not with us, but posters. Mujib was present in all processions. If you see the this one is produced for Bangladesh Action Committee, that told one thing. His only crime, he won the democratic election in Bangladesh. We demand his immediate release from illegal imprisonment. This poster in 1971, if you see the some procession in the London street, it's a vital thing, very renowned place in Hyde Park, Speaker's Corner. You see that one. If you go to the Birmingham, there at the city center, you'll see that poster. So everywhere, this poster is circulated everywhere. This one reproduced in, we have, as Halima mentioned, in the British Council exhibition, we reproduced that posters. And the right part one is another poster. This one handwritten, 4th of April, Hyde Park Speaker's Corner, their possessions and rallies announcement by the poster. And this one is handwritten by, as I mentioned, first of he declared leave the Pakistan High Commission. His name is Abdur Rauf, the renowned artist working Pakistan High Commission. He left 4th of August, if I am not wrong. 4th of August, he joined with Bangladesh in a mission under the Abu Said Chaudhry along with others. All the posters is written by his own hand. Another thing I'd like to mention, I think so many people know about it, the first constitution of Bangladesh. First constitution, handwritten constitution by Abdur Rauf. He is the person handwritten the first constitution of Bangladesh. Yeah, my salute to Mr. Abdur Rauf. And we can go the another one. Oh. Joy Bangla. Bangalir joy hobe. Situation under control. The nature is favor of us. This collage is produced by great photographer Roger Guin. After 7th of March, he realized that the Bangabandhu already declared the independence of Bangladesh. He made this collage poster in Birmingham, and this one oil circulated in different part. That Roger Guin, I'll take 30 seconds on Roger Guin, because Roger Guin did so many things in 1971. action committees, the lobbying with the MPs, making press release, poster, cartoons, taking photographs, joining with the, Sanjida knows little bit more from Birmingham, Roger Master. He's very well known. He is very good spoken in Bengali Asian. He spent from 1962 to 64, then again 67, spent a lot of time in Bangladesh. And he was more than a Bengali from me or like other Bengalis. So I look to salute Mr. Roger Guyen. He played a tremendous thing for collecting the beautiful photos in 71, and he's part of our history. He's a brave freedom fighter for Bangladesh. Another one. This one is no,
sorry.
previous. Okay. So you see the poster. This one again, Abdur Rauf, who produced the poster. This one after our victory day, 16th of December, is the most awaited day for Bengali history. We got the independence. We got the victory. This poster is 2nd of January. It's produced by Abdur Rauf, and the credit for this collection is Abdur Rauf family, mostly his late wife, given to me, and along with other historic documentation I've got from Abdur Rauf family. My sincere respect to his Mr. Abdur Rauf and his wife and family members. This one, 2nd of January, there is a big processions, in Hyde Park Speaker's Corner, 9 months. All the people around the UK, they are gathered in that place. It's called Birat Janasabha. In Bengali language, it's a massive gathering going to be happen 2nd of January, Hyde Park Speaker's Corner. They invited, the key speaker was Justice Abu Said Chaudhary, and as I mentioned in previous, Mr. John Stonehouse MP, Bruce Douglas Man, another Friends of Bangladesh, Peter Shur MP, the Lord Gifford, along with other ones. It's a massive crowd in that day as well. It's a very, I have some photos of that day as well. It's a massive crowd, people coming, and they're hugging each other, they're crying, and the one thing in their mind, when we are getting back the key man, the person, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, we can move on. Other one. We feel proud for British Bangladeshi people. It's a part of history. 8th January 1972 in the morning, 6:30 in the morning. Nobody knows. Few people knows. 2-3 people knows. 2-3 people will notice. There's someone, the people arriving in London in 6:30 in the morning, and the people didn't see him last 9 months. And all are, it's a, global craze. 6:30 in the morning, Heathrow Airport, as no British Foreign Office, Ian Sunderland was the, he knows from the Pakistani government, as you know, he arrived in 6:30 in the morning from Bangladesh part, Bangladesh mission, the person behind the left side, Mr. Mujib, he's Anwaril Karim, is the, High Commissioner of that mission. And you can see few faces in there. My great privilege to meet few people on that, press conference in the afternoon in Claridge's Hotel, London. It happened, and you see the person Jillul Haq behind Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, and you see the left to Jillul Haq is Wali Ashraf, the editor of Janamat newspaper, and the left on the right side of Mujib, the person is Mohiuddin Ahmed, and steering committee, convener Aziz Hulak Bhuya. And it's a historic day for British history, Bangladeshi history in London. That 8th of January 1971, Mujib arrived in London. He came from the flight from Pakistani Airways. In the evening of 8th January, before the evening, other part, the people who are involved in different, organizations, action committee, women association, everyone gathered in in front of Claridge's hotel. But one thing should be mentioned. In the morning, 6:30, Mohiuddin Ahmed, Anwaril Karim, and another Mohiuddin Chaudhary was present in Heathrow Airport. One video already been in our page as well. That one video we can find the Mujib with his pipe sitting on the sofa. Mohiuddin was sitting there. I met Mohiuddin several times. He was the key supporter and mentor of my research work. So then again sit up with the Anwaril Karim. 3 persons received Bangabandhu, Sheikh Mujibur, and British government, they organized limousine for Sheikh Mujibur Rahman to pick him up to Claridge's hotel. Bangabandhu take his High Commission's, the High Commissioner car. He didn't use limousine. It's a bit expensive to stay in Claridge's hotel. Why you guys planning this? I need to stay in that hotel I was in 1969. Don't need to spend so much money. So in British history, Bangladeshi British history, 8th of January, Sheikh Mujib's arrival in London is a historic day. So in my journey, I have met more than 12 to 13 people. I have met who are attended of that press conference, including another person, Dr. Kamal Hussain, who was with the he's from Pakistan as well on the same flight. And that day is very historic. In so many things happen in London that day. People are gathered in front of Claridge's hotel. And evening, Sheikh Mujibur Rahman met with 10 Downing Street, Edward Heath, British Prime Minister. British Prime Minister was in actual vacation in that time. But when he heard that news, he come back and met with Mujib. And you see in our page some videos how the British Prime Minister greeted Sheikh Mujibur Rahman at that day. You can see the video, you feel. And I showed my sincere respect to all the politicians who decide the independence of Bangladesh in 9-month-long run. They do the MPs. They create the motion in British Parliament in favor of Bangladesh. So many things that did. We can, I think, we can move on next slide. In my collection, one of the richest photographs, real photographs in my hand. You see in the corner, Sheikh Mujib, his autograph in there. And there is a date written, they were written the 9th September 1972. I would like to describe the story of that day. 9th of January, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman left United London. He is on his way to Bangladesh, most awaited journey towards Bangladesh. That and there is a stopover in stoppage in Delhi because the Indian Prime Minister Indira Gandhi, along with his colleagues, they organized a big procession, big reception for him. And Bangladeshi people, everyone know that time. The 10th of January morning, Bangabandhu arrived in Bangladesh. These photographs are taken in Akrotiri, Cyprus. As you know, the British government offered Sheikh Mujibur Rahman a British Air Force jet, very sophisticated service they offered for Mujib for so many things. In the photos is taken in Akrotiri when the the plane getting fuel, the in the deck. One of the Indian diplomat, his name is Shashanko Shekhar Banerjee. He was the long-term friend of Mujibur Rahman. He was on that plane with Mujibur Rahman on road to Bangladesh. He taken these photos in Akrotiri, Cyprus. Left one, he is the British Admiral pilot David Craig, who from the British Jet Air. Left Mujibur Rahman, Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, and Dr. Kamal Hussain, and he is the person Ghulam Molla, is the Federal Insurance Company chairman friends of very close bosom friends of Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. So in as I mentioned, is written the 2nd of September 1972. You know what? In July, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman arrived in London for his gallbladder operation. That time, first time ever, he spent around 48 days in London. In before, he comes several times, around 9 times. But that time he spent long time. Again, British Prime Minister Edward Heath, the foreign Sir Alec Hume, so many people see him in the clinic. That day, Shashanka Shekhar Banerjee, as I told the diplomat, Indian diplomat, he taken their 2 photos, one on flight with Mujib, another one is that one. He came in the clinic along with his wife, and he asked Mujibur Rahman, could you please give me some autograph on that books? Mujib autograph signed in that day, 9th of September. In 2016, I planned myself to go back my country to produce a book. In my birthday, I find a envelope in my Ilford address, that Ujjal and something, and I got a call from Shashanka Banerjee. I asked me, hello, Mr. Das, did you find a letter from my side? I don't know. Oh, no, I need to check. Okay, check. I checked it. I found that historic photos, real photos with signed of Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. It's a big collection of my side. It's I can touch autograph of our father of the nation, Mujibur Rahman. And I sincere thanks to Shashanka Shekhar Banerjee. He played a significant role in the favor of independence of Bangladesh. And for the viewers, I think it's very hard to, it's the ocean of information. I am a very tiny, my tiny effort, I put some slides to, the mention few significant days actually. I am so sorry for if I get anything wrong, if I hurt. And it's a journey. It's not a, I can't express my opinion because day by day we're learning. Day by day we're learning. In Bangladesh National Art Gallery, we have him in the first photography exhibition. One lady come up with the bag full of photos. He gave it to me. This one is 5th of January, 5th of March, Pakistan High Commission. The Bengali people burn out the flag of Pakistan mission. I've got so my sincere thanks to all of the people supported me in this journey, and I'm day by day learning, day by day learning. Thanks to all from my side.
I'm gonna stop sharing at this point, just so sorry, there we go, so that we could see each other again. Thank you so much for that. As you mentioned, just a tiny small fraction of a massive collection. I was immersed in that, 45 minutes of that, and I think we could go on for hours longer. I think we'd have to do that in person, just because Zoom, I think, becomes really difficult after an hour or so. I do want to make time for people's questions as well. I'm gonna ask one more question, but please form your questions in your mind or pop them in the chat box. Have a think. We'll literally have 5-10 minutes. We won't have very long at all. But I guess my final question to you is, after 10 to 12 years of collecting, what are you up to now? What projects are you working on? What's going on with you now? And then I'll show your film.
Okay, very, very, very good question actually. So it's a madness. I think when I started, I didn't find out what I gonna do. I don't know even. It's my honest opinion. I'm loving it. This collection not for me, for the peoples of Bangladesh, honestly. So I planned myself to produce a book. So when I started it, it's very hard. I announced in 2016, the London 70, my book is come up within 1 year. When I gone to Bangladesh meeting that time people, every day I'm finding new things. Every day finding new things. And the exhibition, give a new window in my thinking that when people in Sylhet, they're asking, oh, He is my granddad, and the whole family from a particular, Upajala from Vishwanath, they, bought a, highest car, bus. 31 people from their whole family come in my exhibition to show up their family. That is our granddad and uncles. They were in the, the procession of 1971, 1st of August, Trafalgar Square. It emerged me a lot. Oh my God, how many lines I could write actually. The photographs is so powerful. The people can relate their relatives. They even don't know that they are, because they come up with other photos. Their mom are crying. It's real. I'm going up. I'm messed up. I feel emotional that. So I fixed up that, yes, my book is coming. Book is coming. But moreover, I want to focus to collecting on the historic photographs as well the historic documentations to show up people should know what's in happened. Because in my words and other was written, the photograph says so many words, 1,000 words, I believe. And yes, book is coming. And another thing, I am planning it's a personal initiative to launch a digital archive for, British unsung heroes of Bangladesh Liberation War in the UK. If I get support from different, different support from different institutions who are still working, my sincere respect to Shadinota Trust. One person I forgot her name, Ansar Ahmedullah Bhai, Julia Pa, and few of my friends, Jewel Raj, Ashamo Masum, Farooq Ahmed, Shahar Asel, Washim Chakraborty, and the London Bangla Press Club, few people, and Tony Hawk in Birmingham, Murad Khan Birmingham, so many people, honestly, and one of my uncle, Shottobroto Das Shopon, they supported him a lot mentally. When you're dying, you are earning half of your time, half of your earning gone to your, this thing, how you manage your family and everything. So my plan to make a digital archive for the people, for the next generation. I'm still learning, and I am happy to share with, and I am working on the recognition for the people who played the rules for 1971. Digital archive, yeah, on so many words.
On that note, on the digital archive, I'm going to quickly show a film which introduces, I guess, the digital archive. It's about a minute long, and then we're going to move to questions. So thank you. If some of you have started raising your hands and some of you are commenting, so we'll go to the chat box just shortly. Bear with me as I share screen to share the film. Just give me a sec. No. One sec, sorry. Okay, that's as enlarged as it is.
একদিন ডাক এসেছিল, বঙ্গোপসাগর তরঙ্গিত হয়ে সেই ডাক আছড়ে পড়েছিল টেমসের তীরে। কি ভীষণ আবেগে সেদিন হেঁটেছিল তারা এক হয়ে মিছিলে মিছিলে। উত্তাল বিলেতের রাজপথ যেন এক টুকরো বাংলাদেশ। একদিন ডাক এসেছিল লড়বার, বহুমাত্রিক সে লড়াইয়ের ময়দানে যার যা আছে তাই নিয়ে প্রাণের উচ্ছ্বাসে ভেসেছিল মহাপ্রাণ। পূর্বপুরুষের সেই সব অবদান কালের গর্ভে হারাতে পারে না কখনো।
Okay, I'll stop sharing now. And we are at 6:21, which leaves us just under 10 minutes for questions. There's been lots of comments and chats happening.
Yeah, I think people have been quite overwhelmed with the images and history. So lots of comments initially about the women that were involved in the movement. How amazing it's to see those images. Not many people have come across them, as well as the stamps. Mash mentioned that he'd never heard about Biman Mudlik until today.
Lots of support for a digital archive, it seems. So that's great, good to know. And the film I just showed you, just to share Ujjal Bhai's Facebook page, if you search London 1971 on Facebook, I think you could come across your little videos. I think so, and follow the rest of your work. Is that right? On Facebook. So yes. Are there any questions? Thank you. I think Mash had his hand up first, so Mash first, and then Mahfoud Bhai.
Firstly, thank you so much to Ujjal Bhai. I really found that very informative and very insightful. I just want to say a few words. I don't want to ask a question. I think we must capture both the verbal accounts and photographic memories of the past before they get lost forever. And we know that a fragmented memory, whether photographic or verbalized, of the past is better than a lost memory. And we equally know that an image can, as you said, Ujjal Bhai, that an image can tell an entire narrative in our storytelling of our past as Bangladeshis. History is complex to explain, but photography and memory are real and can develop imaginations for successive generations to understand the story in a way that speaks to their reality today. That's why the photographic memory is one of the best. As a young Bengali, I want to thank you so much for your work. And that's all I want to say.
Thank you. Next, Mahfoud.
Adab Dada. Adab. I just want to share you one memorabilia. My father bought it in 1971. As you can see, the tie. This tie is 50 years old.
Yeah.
So he gave me this. I'll take photos of this and I'll give it to Halima and you can collect it. The photos, not the tie.
That was still very generous. Thank you so much.
I would like to mention one thing. The ties, along with one kud beige, had been produced in that time.
Yeah.
One kud beige. I have one kud beige, and I have touched in that tie in Abdur Rauf family back in Dhaka. Oh, it's incredible. Thank you. You have a marvelous collection. My respect to your dad.
One more thing, Dada. In probably you have seen the 71 photos in Sylhet, particularly by Shamal, Abullay Shamal.
Yeah, so I heard his name.
Yeah. So we have lots of collection of photos of him. I spoke to Halima other day, and we'll deal with this in due course.
Oh, brilliant.
Okay. Adab.
Thank you.
I think we have a few questions in the chat box, and you just introduce.